Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. Are you ready to run some hearing questions? Perfect. Okay, give me 1 second room. All righty, good sir. So quick update and quick disclaimer. There's no attorney-client privilege, and you got to choose a fake name to go ahead and run these. What is your fake name for the hearing questions?
Peter.
Peter, excellent. Peter, walk me through, how old are you?
57.
57 years old. What is your most severe impairment?
I have vasculitis.
Excellent. Can you tell me what your top 5 most severe impairments are?
Vasculitis, and then I have in my back, the disc pyramid there. And then I also, from the vasculitis, I have leg lesions, lesions on my legs, and then the vasculitis, then I got like rheumatism from the flu or something. Just like my arms, sore in my left arm now, it's been like for a couple months. But I applied March 12th on the phone disability. I'm from Minnesota, and they called like 3 times now. They called and asked me some questions. Last time they just called a couple days ago, and this was the work about because I want a cleaning service for the last 15 years, and about a year ago I just couldn't do it anymore. I mean, just I couldn't. So then they called the other day, and they just wanted a few more questions about my work, when the last time I worked, and how many hours did I work a week when I did work, and I only worked like 3 hours a week. And then I asked her, it was a woman, and that was the work thing. And then I go, what happens next? She goes, well, the medical is done, so they must have located on that end. I didn't understand that. And then she goes, well, now we're just waiting for a decision. So within a couple weeks, she was saying.
So is
that possible? I mean,
yeah. So you had an ALJ hearing, correct?
I didn't have no hearing, nothing.
Okay. Did you speak with an administrative law judge over the phone?
No.
Okay. So how many denials have you received?
None. I just applied on March 12th. First time I ever applied.
Okay. So bottom line is you're at the initial filing level, and the person who's adjudicating your claim is DDS, which is Disability Determination Services. They're kind of like little itty-bitty judges. They're like baby judges. Basically, their job is to fill out forms based upon what's in the record and what their physicians on their end see. So what's happening is you've completed all the forms. They probably had a few questions about medical providers, where you've worked, things that you might do throughout the day. And then other than that, they enter that into a form to see whether or not you are severe enough to go ahead and be found disabled. Now, in your case, it sounds like blood vessel issues, correct?
Yeah, yep. It's through your arteries and stuff.
Okay, so tell me about it. How are you unable to work because of it?
I just get so pooped out, just tired, and then I have them sores in my legs because your blood doesn't flow, and then it's I get these awful lesions on my legs and stuff. It's like I show the pictures of they're really gross. It goes away, it comes back, and then there's no cure for it either for vasculitis. And then they say then it's rare. Then it's rare disease anyways. Then it's rare. It just stays away, but it's coming back now and then. God. I mean, I don't know. And then my back, and I tried the exercises and stuff, and that just doesn't work. And and I try to stay active, but I can't do too much. I can only walk about 200 feet. And then the rheumatologist, the specialist, they gave me a permanent handicap parking permit. So that's good forever, I guess. I don't know if that matters any, but so I do see a specialist rheumatologist at least once a month.
All right. So explain to me, what did you do at your prior job?
I own a cleaning service, and I mostly did all the work myself. So I owned it since 2005.
Okay. But that's a good summary of what you did. But tell me, what did you do? I mean, what were you cleaning? Were you cleaning hotels?
I did clean commercial buildings, industrial buildings, a few smaller accounts too. This big account that I had took like 9 hours a day. I mean, it was, full time.
Okay.
That one paid very well, and I had a couple of ones besides that, and I tried to do it most myself. I had a couple of helpers, but, and then towards the end there, I just couldn't do anymore. I mean, it was taking me like 15 hours a day. It was just, and then finally the big account that I had, they got rid of me. because I just couldn't get it all done. You know, and then so they could have been in my.
Tell me what you couldn't do. What, and I get the 15 hours. You couldn't do the length of time required to do this activity, but what activities were you doing?
Oh, like mopping and scrubbing the shower room, or just everything. The place is filthy. I mean, that's a big foundry. You know, it's like a foundry, steel foundry. You know, it's a pretty big place, and you know, I mean, you could do it. You could clean the break room 4 hours later, it'd be dirty again. I mean, it's just impossible. You know, and then it's constantly going to you know.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, and I'd be so painful. I'd go on the nurse station and kind of lay down, you know, because they had like a couple cots in there, you know, and just, yeah.
Okay. So now, walk me through this. So basically, you were doing the basic functions, the traditional functions that are required to go ahead and clean commercial establishments. But you still haven't told me what was so tough for you.
The tough work, just climbing the stairs, mopping, just everything, just everything. I mean, you know, then you get to one place and you got to go to the other place and drive, and then just busy, it's stressful.
So out of 10, I want to give you just a thought pattern here. Out of 10, how connected do you feel that I am to the story of why you can't work? Do you feel like I'm emotionally connected? Do you feel like I'm not really connecting to it much?
I feel like you're not connecting it too much, maybe.
Okay. So what would be better to help me connect with the story as to why you can't work?
Well, I would have to come up with, well, I mean, it's just tell the truth and everything. You know, I haven't been lying about anything about it. Nobody, it's just maybe you get into the pain more. You know, when I work, I just had to stop and relax, you know, and just sit down. And, you know, that more, and then just the stress and then depression about it all, too. It's just, you know, just can't get it done. And I know I was going to lose the account, and then, you know, it's a lot of money.
So basically,
try.
Yeah, so basically, we've transitioned from physical pain now to emotional loss-based issues. So tell me, what was more difficult for you, the emotional loss of the money and the job to being not able to do functional tasks such as your work, or was the physical pain worse?
I would say probably the emotional, you know, mostly because I was just depressed, you know, and then the loneliness of just being home, you know, and then worry about where the next dime's going to come from, like house payment and stuff, and just, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now walk me through this. Since you had these difficulties, what happened directly after? What happened a year after? And where are you at now when it comes to that emotional pain?
Well, it's still, the emotional pain is still there and everything. But I did luck out, and I did get the unemployment because of all this corona stuff, so I'm kind of making it now, thank God. But I'm still just depressed, and still got to go through this. You know, the medications I take and stuff, and I mean, they had to switch medication on me now again because I was getting sick off that the really stuff they were giving me. But just, you know, and then sometimes I even had a hard time keeping track of the medications. I'd write it down, and sometimes I forget to write it down. When did I take it last? I mean, you know, it's confusing too. I mean, just. Amongst that and other things too, you know, like my dad fell and broke his hip, and nothing they can do. You can't see him in person because that's all locked down. And
okay, so now keep in mind, in hearing, this would never happen, which is where you're not having questions fired at you. In a hearing, you know, you would be in a structured system of questions. Right now, do you feel like talking about your dad is relevant to your impairments?
No.
Okay. I'm going to run some questions. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and run some questions with you. I'm going to shoot them at you quickly. Answer them quickly. And then we're going to go ahead and review your answers. I'm going to do a short set. Good, sir. Go ahead and state your fake name for the record.
Peter Lund.
Excellent. Can you walk me through this? When it comes to your ability to work, are you able to work right now?
No.
Surely you could do something such as a Walmart greeter job, something simple, maybe blanching almonds. Wouldn't you be able to do something like that?
No, I doubt it. I can't stand for no more than 5 minutes.
Okay. So help me out with this. How far can you walk before you have to sit down?
About 200 feet.
200 feet? Okay, gotcha. Do you play any sports currently?
No.
Okay. When you walk that 200 feet, how do you know it's 200 feet? What do you normally walk to?
Well, because my vehicle's probably about 100 feet. When I get cars outside, by the time I get into the store to get a car, it's like I'm moved out and ready just to hang on the cart. So let's get 200 feet. I can pretty much, by the time I get to that, it's like I got a rest grab the cart. One thing is the shopping cart is easier to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Because I use a cane too.
Okay. When was the cane prescribed?
Yeah, well, kind of both ways. It was kind of mutual thing when it was about the doctor was talking about cane stuff. I go, yes. This was like the same. That it was like the same thing. You had a question about it, I had a question about it, and then I did get one then.
So they didn't prescribe one for you?
No, because it was like we already said there's lines or something, like you do the cane, and then I was going to ask you about that. So it was kind of, because they see me struggling trying to walk, you know what I mean? If I walk kind of hunched over too, because I just can't straighten up sometimes.
Do you use the cane on a daily basis?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. So help me out with this. What objective evidence do you have that you use it on a daily basis?
Well, I have to. Well, people see me with it all the time. I mean, if I go somewhere.
Will those people be with
you?
you?
Store, I'll use a shopping cart to push that, and then I don't need to allow this with the cane in the cart then.
Right. Will those people be present at the hearing with you?
Well, they could be if I asked them, I suppose. The good friends I know. And actually, one person I know made me a nice walking stick too. So.
Okay. So one thing you're going to need to get is a prescription for that cane, and the reason why is the judge needs it to validate the statement that you are using a cane. So keep in mind, especially during with all of this, phone call stuff and COVID, they're not going to physically see you with the cane, and automatically, when you do not have a prescription for a cane, it puts it in the judge's mindset that you just brought it there for the hearing. Okay.
Okay. Right.
Okay. So now, good sir. Yeah. Okay. Now, let me ask you this. What about when it comes to cooking, cleaning, or doing laundry? Do you have any issues with those?
Yes, I do, actually. The washer and dryer is in the basement, for instance, and usually I put the laundry in a garbage bag, and bring it down the steps. That's not too bad. And I did put an extra railing, so there's a railing on both sides of the basement steps, so that makes it a little easier. Getting the washer is not too bad. Well, then getting out the dryers, that's more of a pain. So, and then almost every time I come up the basement steps, I have something, because I go down there for a reason. I'm going to bring something back up with me. And that's kind of hell, because I can kind of hang on to the railing with one arm and try to do the other. And I get out of breath. It's like, jeez, just trying to climb the steps.
How long can you sit? Okay. How long can you sit before you have to stand up?
10 minutes.
Okay.
And then if I sit longer than that, and then when I get up, it's like pain. Like I gotta stretch. I gotta stand there and kind of stretch before I can walk. So.
Okay. Can you tell me how does your impairment limit your ability to do the job you once did?
Oh, I wouldn't be able to stand and walk, and then go up the steps. And how am I going to sit down? I mean, I'd have to try a bigger building. I got to sit down. I mean, I just can't stand there. Even with the cane to lean on that, I got to sit because, then I get up and then I got to lay down too. Times on my bed, just because I'm glad I got this bed too, that the legs can go up like this adjustable bed. So that helps a lot,
All right, now here's the thing. I'm not super connecting to why you can't work, and I get it. I get what your impairment is. I get the blood vessel issue. I get the standing issue. I get you have swelling. You have all kinds of issues related to it where You physically are limited to doing these things. But I mean, you tell me, what about places you used to work? What were things that were hard to clean? Like, give me visualizations. What was hard to clean?
Oh, like vacuuming, getting the heavy garbages.
Vacuuming what?
The carpeting.
What kind of carpeting?
And then
thick carpeting?
Just the industrial carpets, but it's always so dirty. It's little rocks and stuff. And I'm trying to get the big garbages. Then I have to wheel that in the winter. And then in Minnesota, the winter is like 6 days a year, you know.
So let me ask you this then. So we've got an issue here where it sounds like you have a hard time with commercial trash cans, the big ones, 4 rollers. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, but you could handle your household trash can, right?
Well, not all the time. I don't have it overfilled when I take it out or something. And then usually I have some stops over and helps me out too.
Okay. At any point, did you tell me how big your home trash can is?
No, I didn't.
Do we all know how big that commercial 4-wheel rolling trash can is? Yeah, we've all got a pretty good idea. But do I know what size trash can yours is?
No, you probably don't know.
So tell me, what size trash can do you have?
It's about a 10-gallon one in the kitchen.
About 10-gallon one? So when it's full, on average, what does it usually weigh?
I don't try not to get it a little more than 7 pounds, probably. 5 pounds.
Okay. But when it's full, how much does it weigh?
Oh, no more than 5 pounds. I suppose 5 pounds.
So that many gallons of a bag would weigh 15, 20, 30 pounds, depending on what was in it. So you said you didn't have issues lifting or dealing with your home trash can, right? And then we followed it up with, right, and I agree, but you see how I put words in your mouth there?
Right.
The judge, the judge would have never said to you, hey, what kind of trash can do you have? Hey, what size is it? Hey, they would have just written down, can lift trash out of a traditional household trash can, therefore has the capacity to lift over 10 pounds.
Right.
Okay.
And of course, your home garbage is only going to be once every 3 days or something, maybe once every 5 days. I live alone, so,
But think about it. If you can lift that, right? You said there was no issue before because I said, and you remember the wording, so you wouldn't have any issue with the household one, right? And you were like, no, yeah, it's like, it might have a little, Then we got into the whole, how full is it? How heavy is it? How big is it? All that stuff. Never let the judge get you to say, yeah, that could be okay. And that was that whole trick question I asked you, and we didn't go into the whole laundry thing, but cooking, cleaning, laundry. You went through those pretty quickly. You gave me a few, this would be a problem, that would be a problem. You said the dryer would be a problem, but the washer, that's no problem. Well, if the washer's no problem, then you're picking up that whole bin of clothing that's dirty and you're throwing it in there. How heavy is that bin of laundry, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Those 10 pounds, maybe. I don't know. It depends. I try not to let it get too heavy because I go on basement steps.
Right. Can I ask you this? Are you currently smoking?
No, I never smoked. Well, I can't say that because I've had a cigarette before.
When did you stop smoking?
Oh, it was never really a habit, but if we were camping like years ago, I'd have like a menthol cigarette or something. So I've never had a cigarette in probably 10 years, maybe now.
Okay, gotcha. Do you currently drink?
I do have a few Windsors.
Okay. And what are Windsors? Is that a beer? Is that wine?
It's a Windsor whiskey.
Okay. So, how many shots would you say you have in a sitting?
A day?
Yeah.
I would maybe 4 drinks a week, I would say, on average.
4 drinks or 4 cups or 4 shots?
4. Well, it's only about a shot in every drink, so yeah, it's 4 shots, I suppose.
Okay,
a week.
4 shots. Okay.
And usually, like on a Friday night or something, someone stops over on a drink.
Okay, gotcha. Is that your favorite whiskey?
Yeah, I know. I just when I've gotten, that's actually the only thing I do drink, I guess, is alcohol in it, I guess, would be. I don't drink beer. I used to drink beer, but I haven't had a can of beer in probably 8 years, probably. I don't drink beer.
So help me out with this. Do you have a recent bottle? How much did a recent bottle cost?
Bottle of Windsor. I just bought one too, and it was less than $10. But I'm getting the unemployment for the $800 a week now. $600 from the federal one, and then the state a couple hundred.
Sure, you're getting the unemployment and all that jazz through the Corona Fund, right?
Yes, yep.
Okay. Is that how you had to buy the alcohol and food and things like that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. If you received your disability benefits, what would you spend them on?
Groceries, house payments, utilities. The utilities ain't too bad. It's just like a small bungalow house. Utilities ain't too awful bad. The house payments about $500 a month. That includes insurance and taxes. So that should be the priority. And of course, insurance on the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Sure.
So house payment, utilities first.
Okay. Help me out with this. I mean, if you won your benefits, I'm sure you would celebrate. What kind? Would you still get the same alcohol, or would you get a different alcohol?
I think probably the same, because I believe it's around the same price for the other things.
Okay.
I've never really checked before, but
Okay. All right. So we've just talked about smoking, tobacco products. We've talked about alcohol. So you tell me, if I'm a judge, how good do you think I'm feeling right now about you spending federal disability funds on alcohol?
Yeah. Well, he's probably wondering, I wonder how much he really does spend on alcohol, or does he really tell the truth about buying that one bottle every, having 4 drinks a week, or so he might question that,
Yeah. The judge might be a heavy drinker, but I can assure you the judge is not going to like that disability funds, which are meant for your general upkeep, are being spent on,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And I don't want to lie and not say I don't drink them. But, I mean, of course, if they find out they're lying, well, then that'd be it, So I've been really truthful with all the questions.
Oh, for sure.
When they asked me, when I first applied and everything.
The kicker with it is this: when it comes down to these ALJs, and remember, you're not at that level yet. You're a DDS right now, which is just like a smaller, kind of lower level of adjudicators. Adjudicators are judges, and they're like baby judges that basically fill out forms compared to the higher. They know the system, they know the law, they know how it all interacts with itself. You're now out of the Formville, and you're now into the brief high. We're gonna, you're starting to see some of the things you have to watch out for, because if this were a hearing, I would have just literally said, okay, well, what kind of drink would you get if you did win your benefits? And then you would basically be sitting there going, oh, I'd get this one. This is a good one. I like this one a lot, right? This is, although if I were you, I would do it in more like a Fargo movie voice, which is like perfect, perfect for that. But the reality is this: the judge is sitting there going, cringe. He's going to spend my disability money that I'm getting to him on alcohol with his friends on Friday. So, just something to think about.
Really would buy the same brand. I mean,
and you're an honest guy too. You're sitting there going, you know what? There's a lot of options, but this is the one I like. That's good.
It's this one I like. I'm acquired a taste for it, I guess.
That's good. That's good. You're much more.
I gotta have pop with it.
Yeah.
I gotta have coke with it, otherwise,
yeah. No, that's good. All right, so let me ask you this: when it comes down to things in the environment that bother you, and what I'm really I'm not going to tell you ahead of time. There are things called environmental restrictions. Things like cold, hot, dust, smoke, vibrations, loud sounds, bright lights. What things in the environment limit your ability to work or have more difficulty with your impairments?
The cold, for one thing. The cold and the snow, hard to get around. cold. And then,
But you live in the cold, right?
yeah. I mean, I've lived here all my life, but it's it's harder now.
Okay, so why is it harder now?
Well, with my disability, it's just hard to get around and the snow. And, somebody's to shovel for me and all the rest of the summer, but sometimes they're not there, and then but then I just can't go anywhere. Then I guess till if I can't get out to the truck, well, I ain't gonna try to break my back and fall and somebody not see me out there laying there.
When you go grocery shopping, do you bring your cane?
Yes, I do. I keep them on. I keep an extra walking stick in the vehicle, and I keep a cane in the vehicle, an extra one.
What kind of vehicle do you drive?
I have a truck, a pickup truck, which seems to be easier to get in for me. I had a smaller, or I had a medium-sized car before. It's just kind of like even for me. I mean, it just seems easier to get in and out. The pickup does. It might not make sense to a judge, maybe, but it just seems to you can kind of slide right in there. You know what I mean? But I can. I went to my friend's house, which was about an hour and 15-minute drive one way. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, 45 minutes went by, and I almost pulled over. And my legs started to hurt. My lower back started to hurt. And I go, I can do it. Only another half hour to go, and man, I got to look. And oh, man. I got a stretch, and I had to stand there for like a couple, 3 minutes, just stand there and hang on the truck, and then walk around right again. And then, I'm glad it wasn't too big of a walk to and living in that Sedona place. Yeah. I know that was, I haven't taken a long drive like that in my time.
Mostly highways or back roads?
That's up to this place, all highway. I mean, it was easy driving, but around this town, it's relatively easy driving here. I mean, about 85,000 people live in Duluth, I think.
Where do you put the cane?
And when I do go,
when
I do grocery store, I usually wait till it's not so crowded either. Closer to when they're closing.
Yeah. Where do you put the cane when you're driving there?
It's it's a back seat in the truck too, but it's a 1.5 door one, crew cab. So I put it right in the back seat. So when I get out, I can just switch right there in the back seat. So it's right. I just open up that half of the door, and then it's right there. And then I deal with that walking stick in the toilet too, just in case.
When you park, yeah. How far away from the store is it when you usually park?
Well, I got the handicap, so I can literally try to park right there. And I always, if I see one of them cart things where they keep the carts, I try to park by one of them, because if I can get a shopping cart, it's just a lot easier to use that to hang on to, to walk,
All right,
and they're
good.
always close to the building.
Because the next question I was going to have for you is, I thought you told me that you use a cart to lean on instead of a cane, which would immediately pull into the, why do you have the cane if you know you're going to the grocery store?
Well, I still bring the cane with me, too. Even if I do get a cart, I always bring it with me in the store, in the cart, because what if, for some reason, what if I can't, or I got to leave the cart and grab something, I always keep the cane with.
Okay. Can you tell me, if you were prescribed a cane, was it a 1-prong or 4-prong?
The cane?
Yeah.
How much does it weigh, you mean?
Is it a 1-prong or 4-prong? Is there 1 prong at the bottom of it or 4?
Oh, just one. Oh, just 1 prong. Yeah.
Why weren't you? Yeah. Why weren't you prescribed a walker?
Well, I don't know. I suppose I could ask him, but I don't know.
But it's not that severe, right? You don't need a walker yet?
Well, it is. The house is pretty small, the bungalow, and it's a Dutch bathroom, so the bathroom is closed. The only problem I do have is that the basement steps, kind of, so, in the house anyways. And then, a walker probably won't be a bad idea, I guess.
Okay. So, help me out here. when you're going back to the car, right, and you don't have a cart, which hand do you carry the groceries in?
Well, I always have a cart. I can't remember if I've ever known that. If I did, I would carry the groceries in my left hand, as I always use my right hand for the cane.
So if you see a cart, you don't need the cane, right?
Right. I still have a whip though. I put it in the cart.
Okay.
But then I'll use the cart to hang on to.
So you're starting to get it. Now you're starting to play by it. Now you're starting to say, oh, there's the speeding silver bullet. Okay. Good. That's good. All right. Let me turn it up a little bit. Good sir, can you walk me through what do you do for fun throughout the day? What do you do?
Well, I try to do like hobbies, like for the puzzle. The other leg is boring after that. I put that like the Corona thing. I study on stuff like this security stuff. I like to keep track during the news and stuff and the government, and so I'm always like busy with something just the government. I like to keep track of everything that's going on.
So you just as an example, what kind of okay? Now don't get me wrong. I grew up on a farm, and on the farm we had basically all kinds of board games. This is now remember Nintendo. The basic fundamental Nintendos were coming out at that point. But when I grew up on a farm, we had farm games. We had Monopoly, which I was particularly good at. We had Chutes and Ladders, stuff like that. What is your favorite board game?
We used to play Scrabble. That was one of the marbles.
Okay. Scrabble, so you were making words, right? You were putting words together to go ahead and get points.
Scrabble, and then that abrogation too, that one.
Sure. So who do you play this game with?
Oh, I don't play that in years now. But, we used to play, my sister used to play.
What do you play now?
I don't play the computer.
Yeah, what kind of game is it? A Westwood game? Is it a?
Oh, it's the phone. Oh, I don't get into them games. I don't play games on the computer. I don't get into them games on the computer.
So then, what do you do on the computer?
It's more like just study stuff. Watch YouTube. I like to watch the wilderness things, stuff. Wish I could be out on a trail, walking, hiking. We do, and I have friends that stop over. The neighbor stops over and visits, talking or whatever.
How long has it been since you've been out of work?
A year. I mean, I still would work a few hours a week, but I'd have a helper with too. Yeah, but.
Okay. Okay.
But it's been a year.
All right. Let me ask you this. So, do you ever go to parties, religious activities, events, birthdays?
To a family, my niece's birthday was like a few weeks ago. I went to that, but that's just, I stayed about an hour.
How does your physical impairment limit your ability to go to these activities?
Well, it's just hard to get around. There's people there, and then we're going to sit, and it's like, I got the cane with and everything, and kind of pain. And then I got to get up and stretch and stuff, and, I don't know, it's just kind of embarrassing in a way, too, Well, I'm, what I mean, just kind of, I feel uncomfortable sometimes. Just some of the kids, what's wrong with the ball? Oh, why is he, why is he so funny? He's getting worse or whatever.
Are you currently being seen for your depression and anxiety?
I try to hide it. I really do. Even the doctor says, it's all crap joke or something, but I try to be on the other side, but I worry a lot. I worry about the future, what's going to happen, and this unemployment's only going to last for so long, and then, and what, I get food stamps and stuff, but,
So just to be clear, you have not seen a physician for mental impairments?
No.
Have you had surgery on your legs?
Surgery, no.
What medication are you taking for your legs?
Well, it wasn't the, I take that back, but it was the, I had to go to another one. I had to go to that wound center, and that was, they showed me how to
dress your wounds.
Put the bandage on the correct way and stuff and everything, so I went about half a dozen times, because it was so bad, I had to have it, I had to wrap it, you know, daily, and put fresh bandages on it, and then the pain was so bad that I thought to just add morphine. I take that about an hour before I take a shower, because I could have a couple friends, because sometimes I'd say, you either stay till I want to take a shower in case I fall or something. I mean, I'd have to friend this, you know, in case that happens. I'd have to take one of the morphines about a half hour before I take a shower. My legs open, suddenly it's like a kind of yellow color. It's like a kind of yellow color. And you gotta show it soap and washcloths, because you gotta get that dead skin off there, and it's like, it's terrible for a while there.
So let me ask you this: when it comes down to, all right, now here's the thing: if I were a judge, this is how I would beat you up, and I don't want to do it to be mean to you, and I just want to point that out there, because to be honest with you, if I were a judge, you know what I mean, I would be meaner than I am on this show, but not to the meanness of some of the judges and how they are to me. First and foremost, if you haven't had surgery, there's a judge in Orlando that would de facto just say, next, done, don't care, no thanks. And dressing of your wounds, that ain't enough. In fact, she had a hearing with a claimant that had constant bleeding all the time. Boom. And it was just terrible. It was just terrible. Because this guy was bleeding from his legs every week. And one little side thing, Nikki McDonald, does that mean you donated to me? That's so cool. Nobody's ever donated to my YouTube channel. I think somebody just donated to me. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know what that means in the sense of like where the money goes or what happens. So that's really great. Thank you. That's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool. I don't even know if, and it shows it's like half loaded or whatever. I mean, that's amazing. So thank you, Nikki. I really. Yeah. Oh God, no! Don't bring up the alcohol. That would be terrible. Oh God. You know the funny thing is. Yeah. No. I don't drink. Just so you guys know, the reason I don't drink is that I always get super duper duper sick. So. Oh my God, I just got $1.09. Man, I'm like, I don't even know where this money goes. This is good. I don't even know. And it has a little pear. That's adorable. I think it's a pear. Maybe it's like no, it's got a leaf. That's a pear, a leaf hat. Basically, here's the thing. Here's what a judge would do with your claim. Here's how a judge would beat you up on that. The judge would be going into basically, okay, won't do anything. Okay. So how does he pay for things? Well, he's got the benefits right now, but he's been out of work for a year, and Corona's only been paying for 2 months. So then it becomes a question of where did this extra money come from? So then the judge would be like, so what friends are you hanging out with that are helping you out? And then it becomes a question of who are you drinking with? And then it becomes a question of, well, let's take a look at his Facebook profile, right? So I'm assuming you have Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Not heavy into it, but.
Oh, okay. So I got to do another shout out. MMM001. Thank you so much for basically making a donation. That's super amazing. I really appreciate it. It was $1.99 with the cutest little pair you've ever seen. It's got a little workout strap on his head because he obviously looks like he's been working out a lot. All right. So, good sir, I want to ask you this. When it comes to, all right, so Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, do you have any of those accounts?
Twitter.
Twitter? Okay, cool.
Twitter, Facebook.
Okay, Twitter and Facebook. Good, sir. What do you like to tweet about? And I don't even know Twitter. I'm assuming tweeting is the correct formal verb or whatever it is for it.
Rush is my favorite band, and tweet. That's why I got on that because I'm into that, and then tweet. That's why I got on that because I'm into that, and then for that. But there's like a group of them listen to the band Rush, and that's what kind of got me into the Twitter, I guess.
So
they're just the same people.
Now you have a difficult time because of your depression interacting with people, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that a little bit. You have a hard time interacting with them, but you're okay interacting with them through a digital online medium.
Right. Well, still though, it's, yeah, because I suppose you don't know who they are. You know.
Okay. So walk me through this. And I don't want to beat you up too much here, but can you tell me this? Who do you hang out with on Friday nights?
Friday nights, depends. Sometimes no one. And if someone does come over, they don't stay a couple hours. I mean, you know, which that's fine.
What, like a girlfriend comes over? Who comes over?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A couple of girls, they know, come over and visit. One buddy I've known for years, they come over and mow the grass for me, you know, give them a couple bucks here and there. Keeps the snow off the sidewalk in the winter. And
sure. So help me out with this. And I did catch that you said a couple girls there, and I'm very proud of you. I just want to point that out. With that said, these girls come over. What do you do with them? You have you cook dinner for them? Do you watch a movie? What do you do?
I always just watch TV. I don't cook a whole lot. I used to love to cook, but I just can't make like mashed potatoes and stuff anymore like I used to. You know, I'll throw pizza in the oven maybe, but you know, something easy I can cook. You know.
So you can't cook the tough stuff. Why can't you cook the tough stuff?
This is hard. Mashed potatoes and stuff like that. How am I gonna? Then if I do all that, well, then there's gonna be all the dirty dishes, and there's not always gonna be somebody. I can make the instant mashed potatoes, and that's not even all the time either.
Okay. So help me out with this. So you hang out with these people. You're having a good time. Some Fridays it happens. Some Fridays it doesn't. Can you walk me through this with your interactions with them? Why are they okay when other people aren't okay for your depression?
Well, I don't even think they realize that I'm depressed either. You know, I mean, you
probably hide it from them, things like that.
Yeah, and then I think it's more they can see I'm worried, you know, too a lot, you know, what the future going to bring here and stuff, and you know, am I going to lose the house, whatever, you know, what's going to happen, what am I going to live, you know, or because I do live alone, so.
Okay. So let me ask you this. And I want to go into this a little bit. You have people over, they don't really know if you're disabled or not. They don't really, have that connection to you. Are these people you've known for a long time?
They all know. They all know I'm disabled and everything. Everybody knows.
Okay, good. Okay. So basically, but they're not worried about the emotional state of things. They're just worried about the house.
Well, they can see I'm worried and stuff. They don't want to get into it with me all the time either, and then I think they think it'll make it worse, you know. A few good friends we will talk, or just get out what's going to happen, you know, or we're all getting older and stuff, you know.
Okay. All right, so I've gone through a bunch of stuff with you. I want to give you a summary as to what I discovered throughout this whole process. Then I'm going to call back one of the other claimants that I missed a call from, or just take a new call as it comes in. Here's what I noticed with it. You seem like a very genuine person, but you seem completely unorganized with your testimony. It feels like you're grasping at times for what it is, but at the same time, I believe you. I believe that you do these things because you're saying things that are traditionally harmful for a disability claim. So, we went into a lot of things. We went into the alcohol. We went into I don't have any surgeries. I don't have any medical treatment at all for the mental side of things. So right off the bat, as an adjudicator, I'd be thinking this guy must not be that severe. Then my next question would be, okay, do you have a prescription for the cane? No. Do you have a prescription for a walker? No. Do you have a prescription for some sort of sling or some sort of brace or some sort of thing like that? No. Okay, cool. This person is obviously not severely impaired. Maybe mild, maybe moderate. He says he can't do physical labor that involves 15-hour work with owning a business. Well, maybe he could do part-time work that would equate to SGA, substantial gainful activity. Maybe he could find a simpler, more sedentary-based job. By the way, somebody said there was sub-sedentary. There's no sub-sedentary-based job category. It's just very heavy, medium, light, and sedentary. There's no sub-sedentary because anything below sedentary is instant finding of disability. So, good sir, one thing that I want you to work on is defining all the things in your past work that were too difficult for you, and then explaining why you also would not be able to do the job of one of your employees that was working for you. Because that's super important, not just to be able to be the owner who can't work, but also the person that's an employee who can't do the job that the owner wants them to do. Because if you can't do that job, and you can't be the owner, and you can't do other simple based jobs, not that cleaning is simple, it's something I wish I could do a better job with, but the bottom line is, let's be fair, let's be honest with this. This is one of those situations where you have to be able to explain why any job in the national economy can't be done by you. All right, now, do you have any questions for me before I pop to the next person?
Yes, so I've gone through all this, they've called. So could they make a decision and they could rule in my favor without getting a denial? I mean, how possible is that? I mean, about them approving me because they called a couple of days ago and then went through the medical thing and now through the work thing, and then they said they'll answer in a few weeks. Is that true? I mean, could they approve me, or is that possible, you think? Or?
So here's how the process works. If they're going to go ahead and approve you, then basically what they'll do is they'll send up your claim to Falls Church, Virginia, or whichever regional group is handling it in your particular area, and to see if they'll go ahead and sign off on basically what the DES rep has found and put into your file. However, if they're not going to approve you, they'll just send you right to the field office, the local field office. So either it's an approval and they go up high and then they send it back to the FO, the field office, or they send it direct to the FO, which means that you're denied. So here's the thing. At DDS level, what usually happens is you get some basic forms. Your 3373, your 3369, your supplemental pain, supplemental anxiety, stuff like that. When you were filling out these forms, did they ever send you any forms about anxiety and things like that?
No.
Okay. Of your impairments. Did they send you a form about your pain?
Yes, about work history, about that, and I did put down that I was depressed too.
Okay, cool. So one thing you might want to go ahead and do is reach out to that person and go ahead and say, hey, I'd like to fill out that form about anxiety. I'd like to fill out a statement about depression so that they at least have it on the file. Because right now, your entire claim is based upon basically a blood vessel issue. So that's kind of the main, yada yada. Now, with that said, it would not be, to your disadvantage. It would be to your advantage to go and seek basically medical treatment for your mental impairments for the depression. Now, you're the type of guy that I can tell does not want to talk about emotional angst and issues that pop up in your head. You're the type of guy who just eats the emotions and marches forward. And that's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you have to keep in mind, I think Dr. Spock just put up a really good point. You don't hang out, work was your social life, kind of like me. So with that said, your social life, working 15 hours a week, that's how you met people, that's how you interacted with people, you were doing your job, you were making money, you were doing great, and that was all taken away from you. So when you're ready to talk to the judge or somebody, an adjudicator, about what you lost, to put it in a story, it would be advisable to talk about people that you met, people that you really connected with, and how you can no longer do that in the future, how it's been taken away from you based upon this initial impairment. And remember, as part of the DDS MDI section, they're posting what they believe is your primary, your secondary, and then your other impairments. So it's basically your primary, your worst impairment, your secondary, your close second, and then all others that are basically relevant to your claim. And they notate whether or not they're severe or not severe, which is based upon a timeline of how long you've had them. So keep in mind, too, a severe impairment means that the impairment has lasted, will last, or will be terminal. Well, it has lasted 12 months, will last 12 months, or be terminal. So you've got to ask yourself, am I depressed just because these things went away that I used to have? Are my impairments due to my work and now I'm starting to get better? These are things that they're really asking.
Yeah, it's not going to get better. I mean, there's no cure for it, but they use the drugs that help you, but and that is true about when I did work, how good everything was. All the time I was so bad, talk to people and associate with people every day, and like you said, that was all taken away. I mean, it's just depressing now.
One thing that I want you to go into in detail is talking about basically those things that which you used to have to do that made you happy. And they might be odd things. They might be cleaning out, a room of a particular person that you like to talk to. It might be things that, involved particularly new cleaning products that you got to integrate into your repertoire of things that you use to clean. These are the things that make you seem humanistic, unique, and a little bit different to the judge, which is not looking for the same yada yada that they see all day long. They need something to wake them up from the bench. They need something to get them out of their kind of like, I'm here, I'm seeing another hearing, yada yada. And you're going to have to bring that aspect to them.
Exactly. Yeah, it made me feel worse. Something. People, interacting with people, makes you feel wanted. And now it's like you don't feel wanted anymore.
Okay.
Nothing I can do. I like to help people out and stuff, but I really can't do that anymore.
No, I hear you. All right. Well, good, sir. I'm going to catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful night, and we'll catch up from there,
Thank you very much. I've learned some stuff tonight, so thank you very much.
Excellent, good sir.
I'm gonna take some notes here while everything's still fresh in my head.
Perfect.
Of course, I can always watch this again, but I like to write things down like that too, and write things down because what was I thinking? What was this plan? So I like to keep track of everything. So thank you.
Absolutely, good sir. Have a wonderful night.
And I thank everybody else up there.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
Excellent. Well, I'll catch you a little bit later. Have a wonderful night. And if you have any other questions, don't be afraid to give us a call.
Yes, sir. I will do that.
Perfect. Thank you, good
Thanks
sir.
again, guys.